So guys, I have finally made it here into the Michaels, and I figured since I have to pick up some yarn today, I will be doing another yarn recommendations, favorite go-to yarns here at Michaels. And because it is Michaels, it probably will all be very affordable yarn. If you guys can hear Christmas music behind me, I sincerely apologize. The speakers in here are loud. Okay, well, if you guys couldn't tell, I'm already in the actual yarn aisle, and I'm standing in front of one of my favorite yarns here at Michaels, and this is the Impeccable Michaels yarn line, and these are typically a worsted weight 100% acrylic yarn, but I have found that these are actually pretty durable, and like seriously, they have so many shades. Like I would say they have just as many shades available as like Big Twist does, and you guys know that Big Twist has been like my go-to for years. Alright, so I've just gone ahead and picked up some yarn off of the shelf to show you guys, but just look at even at like these two colors right here. These are stunning. They have so many colors available, and these are only $3.99 for one ball, and you get, yeah, and you even get 285 yards per skein. So for $3.99, I feel like that's a really good deal, and I would say that these are really soft, very comfortable. I can make a whole sweater or a blanket out of this yarn, and I'll be really happy with how it feels on my skin. Now, I know in past videos I have really recommended the Big Twist yarn that's over at Joann's because it's so affordable. I believe it's also $3.99, and you get like 300 yards per skein. But something that I have found recently that I want to note to you guys is that Big Twist has been pilling on me recently, and it's ironic because right as I started noticing that, some of my subscribers also commented telling me that their Big Twist was pilling, and I've noticed that even like when I work up a whole sweater with different brands of yarn, the Big Twist one is actually the first one to pill on me. So if you guys are kind of looking for yarn that doesn't pill very easily, I really want to recommend the Impeccable yarn. See, I'm just like pulling more yarn off the shelf right now, but look at how many different kinds of colors they have. They have bright, vibrant colors, deep, dark colors, and even like pastel yarns for you guys to pick from. I'm literally just pulling more yarn off the shelf to show you guys, but Impeccable Yarns even has like roving style yarn. So you don't just get solid colors, you get like stripes, some kind of roving pattern, and they also have speckle type of yarn. So the choices are really endless with Impeccable. Go check them out. Like, can you guys honestly see all of this yarn behind me is the Impeccable yarn? And again, like I said, it's less than $5 for a skein. And pro tip for you guys right now, as this video goes up, Michaels is having a buy one, get one 50% off. You guys are gonna save so much money. So if you guys have the chance to drop by Michaels really soon, do it before their sale ends. Let's go find some more yarn. Okay, so I have a little bit better of a setup here so you guys can actually see like the yarn behind me. Okay, so I've picked out some more favorite yarns of mine that I haven't used too often, but I love it so much. This is the Loops and Thread Eco-Luxe yarn, and I wanted to pull out a chunkier yarn because you guys know it's winter, it's fall time. You want to use chunkier, warmer types of yarn. But honestly, I'm just going to bring you in nice and close so you guys can actually see the colorway on these yarn. They're so gorgeous. They actually have a little bit of a sheen to them, but they're super soft. They're so bulky, squishy. I love how these feel, but really quickly, I'll just give you a rundown. The Loops and Thread Eco-Luxe yarn is $7.99 right now at Michaels, and you get 82 yards. It is a number 6 bulky weight yarn, but what I like so much about these Eco-Luxe yarns is that I believe 60% of this yarn is recycled plastic. So if you guys are looking for some eco-friendly recycled type of yarn, head over to Michaels for this. Like even just look at this green up close. Can you guys see like the different shades in it? Got like some yellow. Oh yeah, these yarns actually have a lot more in them than I thought. So they are 65% recycled polyester, 25% acrylic, and 10% wool. So if you guys want to pick up some Loops and Thread eco yarn, you can make some beanies, some scarves with these for the winter time. I really want to make some kind of beanie with these kind of colors, or even just like look at these two shades together. Gorgeous. I really love it. They're super soft, very comfortable, and honestly there hasn't been too many places that I've seen like recycled, reusable yarn in stores. So this is like one of the rarities. If you guys want to pick up some recycled yarn and help your environment out, go check out Loops and Thread. And like I mentioned earlier, even though these yarns are $7.99 a skein, if you come right now with the 50% off coupon, you can literally get a skein for like $3. So hurry up, go get your yarn at a discounted price. Oh yeah. Okay, I have just relocated to a new area, and really quickly, in case any of you guys are wondering, yes, I do have a mask with me, and the only reason why I'm not wearing it is because there's literally nobody in this Michaels right now. I'm like one of the first few customers. I'm sure as I'm editing this, I'm gonna be so annoyed with the Christmas music in the background. But yeah, I've just relocated here to another section that I don't normally recommend, but I have fallen in love with it, not only for the quality but the price. All right, so I've picked out some random yarns from the shelf that I want to show you guys. I feel like I'm always picking up the same color palette, but the blues and the greens are kind of like what I go towards. So when I see a color like this, I just die. But another worsted weight 100% acrylic yarn that I really highly suggest that you guys pick up if you guys are on a budget is the Craftsmart Value yarn. Again, these are worsted weight yarns, 100% acrylic, and this entire skein is only $3.99 right now at Michaels. Wow, and you get 350 yards. So you're pretty much getting the same deal as the big twist yarns, but again, with this kind of yarn, I haven't noticed any pilling. It doesn't break, it doesn't fray, it doesn't pill up on me, and I have used these to make like sweaters and crop tops in the past, and these are just as soft as the big twist yarns. So if you guys are trying to save some extra coin, go pick up some Craftsmart yarns. I feel like this is a brand that not a lot of people talk about because it's kind of like off-brand, or it's not like big name brand like Lion Brand or Red Heart. But I don't know what Craftsmart is doing to make their yarns and produce their yarns, but they're so darn soft, and they give it like such a great affordable price. Like honestly, 350 yards for, oh no, it's actually $3.50 for this entire skein. And again, if you come right now with the 50% off coupon, you can literally get a whole skein for like $1.75. Like there's no way you're gonna top that deal anywhere else. So yeah, I highly recommend these. They've got every color available that you can imagine. And yeah, if you guys even want to go pick up some fall colors, some autumn color yarns, they got you on lock. Craftsmart, go check it out, so affordable. And actually, one thing I want to quickly note with the Craftsmart yarns, I was just kind of like touching around the different yarns on the shelf, and I did find that some yarns, not all of them, some are not as soft as the others. I want to say 90% of the yarn on the shelf, the colors are very soft, snuggly, perfect for your skin. Feels like big twist, honestly. But every here and there are a couple different shades that feel not as soft. I wouldn't say scratchy or rough in any way, but they're just definitely not as squishy and not as like plushy as some other ones. So if you guys come to check out some Craftsmart yarns, kind of feel around. I don't know if it's like the type of dye or something that they use, but it's kind of hit or miss. Usually with brands like Red Heart yarn, I have found that the brighter, more vibrant colors are the more scratchy and uncomfortable yarns, whereas like the whites, deep reds, deep blues, those are like the really comfortable soft yarns. But with Craftsmart, it's kind of like hit or miss. I don't know if it's like the dye that they use when they're making this, but for example, this orange one, it's not the softest. It's like, you know, this one has a lot more squishy quality to it. But then on the other hand, this other yarn, which is just as bright, it's like a flamingo pink, hot pink. This thing is very soft and squishy. So again, if you guys are coming here to check it out, just kind of feel around, find which yarns are the more softer ones, which ones are going to be more comfortable for your skin. But yeah, it's kind of hit or miss. You never know which one is going to be soft and which one's going to be a little bit more rough. Ooh, but I'm actually pulling some more of my favorites by Craftsmart off of the shelf. So I recently just filmed like a organizing my yarn stash, and I forgot that I had this beautiful like jacquard yarn from Craftsmart. I believe this is in the shade Rainbow, but what made me want to recommend it so much is that this yarn, this Craftsmart yarn, is so unbelievably soft, and I think the colors on this thing are so eye-catching. They're so stunning. I kind of want to make like a bucket hat or something crazy with this kind of yarn just because it's so like loud and outspoken. But this yarn is so darn squishy. This thing doesn't pill at all. I've used like their stripe yarn from Craftsmart before, and it is so durable, so long lasting. So I just went ahead and picked out a couple other yarns off the shelf just to show you guys that Craftsmart doesn't just have your basic solid colors. They have other colorways, other types of jacquard roving yarn, striped yarn, even like these colors for fall, winter. Gorgeous. I love like this little pop of yellow right here. Oh, I can even imagine like a scarf in this color. And again, this bad boy is so soft, so squishy. 250 yards for the striped roving yarn, again at $3.50. I always shop yarn with a coupon. I never go anywhere if I can't get it with some kind of % off deal. I usually don't buy yarn. And lastly, from Craftsmart, I just want to show you guys this gorgeous neutrally kind of Christmas themed yarn. If you guys are looking to make like holiday projects, like if you guys want to make some scarves, some beanies, some pot holders, I don't know, some kind of like mug holder, mittens, I don't know, anything, go pick up this Christmas palette. Like, tell me this isn't gorgeous. I really like how the whole thing is not just red and green. You've got a lot of white and some like neutral gray to break it up, but then you even have some parts that have a little bit of yellow and lime green, and it just kind of adds this overall Christmassy color theme. Love this. If you guys are trying to make holiday gift things, go pick up some Craftsmart Christmas yarn. Okay, let's relocate and find some more yarn. Okay, we found, oh, almost dropped y'all on the floor. So I'm actually going to be recommending a yarn from Michaels that I haven't actually used in years, but I have always found myself coming back to this. I think it is such a gorgeous and unique type of yarn, but the yarn that I'm talking about is Lion Brand's homespun yarn. Believe it or not, guys, this is actually the very first yarn that I picked out when I first started crocheting in like the 4th or 5th grade. My aunt took me to Michael's, and this colorway right here is actually the very first yarn that I ever used on my first project ever. I made a scarf with this yarn, but you guys can imagine like 4th grade, 5th grade me seeing this rainbow colored crazy shaped yarn, and I knew I had to have it. This Lion Brand homespun yarn is a number 5 bulky weight yarn. As you guys can see here, it does have like a zigzag type of just style to it. And just look at all these different colors here, that bright orange and yellow in there. I love that. But the homespun yarn is 98% acrylic and 2% other fiber. I don't really know what that means because I've never really seen anything labeled as other fiber, but what I like so much about this yarn is just how thick it is, and even though it kind of does look more like a worsted weight yarn, because it has a little bit of like that zigzag pattern, it does work up a little bit more bulky, so you can finish your projects a little bit faster. And honestly, just like the unique texture of this yarn, like look at this autumnal colored yarn. Imagine using this yarn to whip up a cardigan or a sweater. It's so stunning. I just love how this kind of yarn really gives your project some texture. I'm dying. I think I actually might even buy this yarn today to make even maybe like a beanie with this. It's so gorgeous though. They have so many colors available. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. Just imagine a whole cardigan with buttons on it with this kind of bubbly texture. Gorgeous. I think it's stunning. So yeah, even though I haven't personally used this yarn in a while, I genuinely love this yarn. I have a soft spot for this yarn in my heart because it was the first one that I ever used. And you know, just a quick note there, if you guys are absolute beginners with crochet and you're just starting out, then I don't recommend the homespun yarn for you. This was honestly kind of a difficult yarn to be using for my first time ever, just with like that zigzag pattern. It was really hard to get my tension down right, and if you guys aren't used to yarn splitting on you because of that weird pattern, then you're probably not gonna like this yarn. But if you guys are, you know, intermediate or very advanced crocheters, I really recommend homespun yarn. It's just so soft so gorgeous. You're not going to find a lot of yarns with this kind of quality or even just texture to it, so pick it up while you can. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see this one. Check out these blue shades. So gorgeous. And like I said, you get 185 yards per skein, and I believe these are $7.99. So right now you can get these for like $4.50 per skein. Such savings, such deals. I'm hooking y'all up, okay? And you know what? Let's just go ahead and relocate to the actual reason why I came to Michael's today. All right, guys, I think I'm coming up here to my last yarn recommendation. But I actually came to Michael's. This whole trip was actually because I needed Lion brand shawl in a ball. And honestly, there's so much I can say about this yarn. It's stunning though. Like, let's just take a moment to appreciate this colorway and just look at all those freaking sparkles. It's funny, this yarn also kind of has a little bit of that zigzag style to it, which is something that I don't normally see on the shelves. But this stuff is gorgeous. So I'm picking up shawl in a ball because, as you guys can guess, I have to knit a shawl. I'm actually choosing to knit something again. I haven't knit in a very long time, but I figured that I want to change it up a little bit. Instead of using the standard worsted weight or DK weight to knit, I'm going to challenge myself, step it up a notch, and I am picking a number. Oh, this is such a lie. Lion brand is definitely lying. Here on their little pamphlet, it does say that it's a number for medium weight yarn. Liars. I'm gonna call phooey on that. Excuse me. Does this look like a number 4 yarn to you guys? I'm gonna call this a 1 or a 2. I could be wrong, but to me, this is definitely like sport weight yarn. And maybe because it has a little bit of that zigzag texture to it, that it will work up a little bit thicker. Why I wanted to challenge myself. I knew that this yarn was a lot thinner than the stuff that I normally use, and I want to knit up kind of like a very airy, see-through, lightweight, lacy shawl. And honestly, you guys know that I love the blue teal shades, and I felt like this little pop of tan and salmon pink would just be to die for. And I will also be honest with you guys, I'm typically not the biggest fan of glitter yarns or shiny yarns, and you guys can see here that there is a ton of glitter, but I really just wanted to step out of my shell for, you know, the winter months. So we're going to be knitting up a shawl with these bad boys, but let's just go ahead and give you guys some information. Considering that there is a good amount of glitter in these balls, they're pretty darn soft. I actually really like the texture of these. It's so different with that zigzag style, but it feels really soft and comfortable. And here on their pamphlet, it does say that one ball can make an entire shawl. But because I don't want to screw myself over and get caught and not have enough yarn, I am just going to go ahead and pick up 2 of the skeins just to be safe. I can always use scrap yarn for some other kind of project, but with each skein there is 481 yards in the entire ball. So you are getting a lot of yarn, and granted, each of these skeins is $9.99 at Michael's. So kind of crazy, $10 for a ball of yarn. That's definitely out of my price range. I don't normally like to spend that much on yarn, but because it is a very special commission project, I am willing to spend the money. And again, guys, don't forget, that's why I came here to Michael's today, because even though the ball is $10 a skein, with their buy one get one promotion, I'm getting the other skein for only $5. So I'm literally getting 480 yards of beautiful sport weight lace weight yarn for $5. So yeah, guys, just keep in mind that when Michael's and Joann's have these huge 50% off sale, that is like your time to go find the most expensive yarn in the whole store and buy it while you can. I've gone ahead and pulled a couple other shades of the shawl in a ball off the shelf just to show you guys, but even just look at this one. I was honestly really torn between using this skein or that blue salmon shade one, because I really love neutrals, and especially like in a shawl, you want to be able to wear it with everything. And with this one, you can really see like that rainbow glitter in there. But I think this stuff is gorgeous. Guys, go pick up some shawl in a ball and make something gorgeous with it. I honestly might come back here if there's still a sale to get this white and gray one. I think it's so stunning. But even this one, this has more of like a deeper blue shade, some forest green in there, and of course you got your purple. And these sparkles have more of like a purpley shade to it. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled for really good deals. And again, because it's like winter, fall, Christmas is coming up, I'm pretty sure that's why they're having this huge sale. But yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna wrap up this yarn haul recommendation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. These are kind of like the yarns that I just typically go towards, and when it comes to being like really frugal and cost efficient with your yarn, these are definitely the yarns that I want to suggest you guys to save a pretty penny, because believe it or not, I'm like you guys, I'm always shopping on a budget. I'm very frugal. I have a hard time blowing a lot of money on yarn unless I know that it's going to go to a very specific purpose. And really quickly, I actually wanted to recommend the Impeccable Yarns in case you guys are looking to recreate that scrappy sweater tutorial of mine. You guys can pick out a ton of different colors and shade palettes for your scrappy sweater for only like that coupon. You can literally get a whole skein for like $2. So if you guys are looking for like a really cheap, affordable way to recreate my sweater, check out the Impeccable Yarns. Again, their selection is huge and you can make the whole sweater, and I promise you that it's not gonna pill on you. It's gonna last you a pretty long time. But yeah guys, I'm pretty much gonna wrap up the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys got some helpful tips when it comes to saving money at Michael's and just get some new recommendations. Go check out Craftsmart. And if there's any kind of yarn that you guys want me to haul and talk about and do swatches of, let me know down below. I would love to create some swatch videos for you guys. And yeah, I'll be talking to you very soon. Stay tuned.